I would just like to say that these national scouting combine videos need to include that man right there running that 40. That's what we need to see. That's what we need to see. We need to see that man running that 40 again. That's what needs to be in the video. So, news broke earlier. We made these topics way earlier. At some point during the day, Cliff Kingsbury got fired too, but I think he deserved that. Not a big deal. But let's talk about Lovie Smith getting fired. And Mike, I'm gonna come to you first. If y'all paid attention during the show, we did biggest disappointments, and Mike didn't have one. And he wanted to talk about this. So I'm gonna come to you first, Mike. In fact, I wish I had the thing queued up for Mike's monologue because I'm sure you got a lot to say about it. But talk to us, Mike. How do you feel? Like the news broke today, Lovie Smith is fired. Give me your first thoughts.
Yeah, it came down to people like went to his post-game presser last night when of course reporters and all, you always hear people in the media saying, "Oh, you're playing to get that first draft pick." When they jumped out to a big lead yesterday, I was like, hell yes, go Houston. Not just because I picked him, but Lovie Smith, Eric and I have said it, not that you guys haven't agreed, but Eric and I have said it all year. Like, that man took this job in the biggest crap storm ever. And the defense, who started, I've been harping on this for at least 5 weeks now, who started 2 rookies in the secondary. Second half of the season, they were right up there with the best defenses in the league. So he gets screwed. It's another coach fired after 1 season. And everybody's saying, well, he shouldn't have went for 2 and won the game. He knew he was getting fired. The worst part is he knew he was getting fired. He comes into the game. These guys, half those guys aren't going to be on the team next year anyway, probably, or at least a quarter of them. So like, screw it, man. We want to still get stuff on tape. We're going to do this for coach. And the Texans, you could have done the right thing and extended the man. Have some stability. I mean, look, I know what I'm about to say is ridiculous, Ray. And you always crack up when I say ridiculous things. I know it's one of 32 jobs. And to be an NFL head coach, if you're qualified, you would take it. I would hope any single coach that gets contacted says, nope, we don't want to coach. I would love to see Houston go into the offseason, go into the draft, into the offseason with no head coach because of the way they treated this man who took a job. Look, we all know the Deshaun Watson mess. He gets stuck with the mop up and the cleanup and the crap afterwards. And this is how you treat a head coach? Like, yeah, I was not shocked, like you said about Cliff Kingsbury, Ray, but I was just infuriated that the Houston – I mean, if I'm a fan base too, and look, it's the NFL, I get it. It's corporate stuff. If I'm a regular fan, I don't renew my season tickets. It's a crap organization. They did this man wrong. And look, I'm glad they won because at least it gave his old team, the Bears, the number 1 damn pick to put more stuff around Justin Fields. It's pathetic.
Yeah. Talk to me, John. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Lovie Smith fired, and your immediate reaction is what?
He did not get fired today. I'll let you know that. Lovie Smith got fired February 7th, 2022. The day day he was hired was the day he was fired. That's how it goes with Lovie Smith. With the Texans, the day he was hired was the day he was fired. He never had a chance. No chance to succeed in that organization. Did not matter what he did in that organization. He was not staying. Because all he was hired for was to look good. That was their little PR move. So they looked good while the Deshaun Watson stuff was happening. That's all it was. You wanted to hire a minority coach so that way you could look good in the PR while the Deshaun Watson stuff was happening. You knew you didn't want him. You knew Josh McCown is the guy that you wanted. And it's absolutely bullshit that they're treating Lovie Smith this way. He's a damn good coach. He does not deserve that. They don't deserve him. I love that he gave him the big FU on his way out. Hey, let me get this 2-point conversion. And not only do you lose the number 1 pick, you lose it to my former team, the Chicago Bears. I absolutely love that he gave him the double finger on the way out, metaphorically, by knocking him off the number 1 pick. I just love that because it's bullshit the way they treated Lovie Smith. They, like I said, they knew that they were going to do this to him. It's a complete PR stunt. And it makes Lovie Smith, it makes it harder to get a job when it's like, oh, hey, look at your coaching record. Look what you did. Like, you can't use that against him. Like, I've seen people in comments on social media saying, well, man, the guy did terrible. Like, what the hell do you expect him to do with the Houston Texans roster that he was given? You expect anybody to succeed with that? You got to give that man 3 to 4 years at least to build that thing up. I think it's an absolute dumpster fire. Plus, he was in the middle of all that Deshaun Watson shit. Like, come on, man. This really bothers me. Again, I'll tell you, I say it all the time. I'm white, but this bothers me. I don't like black men being treated that way, black coaches being treated that way. That stuff bothers me to no end. This is one of those things that gets me fired up like crazy, man. I absolutely hate the way the Texans treat him. I hope that they just continue to be trash for years and years and years, because they absolutely deserve that. Eric or Ray, you can go, man, but this is one of the things.
I'm gonna go because I know how Eric is when his lip is twitching, and I can see it. So for me, and John kind of touched on it, and I thought I was gonna have to introduce the elephant in the room. First off, let's start with the fact that the Texans are. We was talking earlier about, can the Colts be successful just swapping out quarterbacks every year? Well, the Texans are on their 4th coach in as many years, and next year it's going to be 5 coaches in 5 years, right? I don't know what they expect from any coach to do in that amount of time. Like, you come in for 1 year, you take over a team that won 4 games, and the coach before him took over a team that won 4 games. And you give them 1 year, they're unsuccessful, then you're done with them. That means you couldn't have believed in them in the first place, no matter who the coach was. But this goes back to, if y'all go back, I wish we could go find a tape. I wish I had a video to queue up. When Eric Bieniemy was a hot name that people were talking about, it was certain jobs that I was going to hope he doesn't take that job, right? And I think this is the conundrum that minority coaches face, is that the options are, like, the opportunities are few and far in between. So when an opportunity arises to be a head coach, you almost have to take it, right? Like minority coaches aren't in a position to say, no, I'm good on that, right? Because the opportunities are so few and far between. So then you take a horrible opportunity, and then this is how your name gets tarnished, and now you're getting drugged through the mud. It's like, oh, you're a bad coach. No, this is a bad organization. He took over a bad team and wasn't even given the opportunity to fix it. Like, I can go back to my team. Go look at the Lions' last 30 years and tell me who the best coach we had. Go tell me the guy that went 3 winning seasons out of his 4 there. Tell me the guy that went to 2 playoffs and then they fired him, right? I do understand, but we understand that black coaches just get the short end of the stick. And this is one of those situations where it's like, I just wish he wouldn't have took the job. This isn't a blame game where I'm pointing the finger like hot. No, I'm just simply saying I wish he hadn't have took the job. Like Mike said, I hope every coach looks at this situation. I don't want to go coach there. I really don't. I don't even know what this means for his career. Lovie Smith hadn't coached in 7 years. I think the last time he coached was 2017. Again, man, there's no justification for this. It makes no sense. But I'm pretty sure my guy probably really going to bring it home. So let's do it this way.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep left center. They say great minds think alike. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Eric's Rant. As I say, I'm always a loudmouth with an opinion, so whether you like it or not, here it goes. Let me tell you something about the crew that I work with first before I get into my rant. They work with me long enough to know that when they see me a certain way, they know how I'm feeling. But it takes a special man to know what I'm thinking in order that I don't have to say nothing to him for him to do what he did. So shout out to my co-host, the Sports Reporter Without Pay, because he said the one thing that I was going to start my little monologue, soliloquy, diatribe with. See, back in the day when we were talking about Eric Bieniemy, Ray said to Eric Bieniemy, don't go to Detroit because that's where careers go to die. Well, I'm changing that. Mike hit the nail on the head. I don't care if you're white, black, Jewish, Hispanic, Latin American, Japanese, Oriental, Asian. I don't care if you're LGBTQIA+++. I don't care. If the Houston Texans organization calls you and offers you a coaching position, I ain't even talking head coaching, I'm talking coaching position within their organization, hang up the damn phone because it ain't worth your time. Lovie Smith got all that gray hair on his beard. You know what that's from? That's from dealing with a bunch of bullshit. Okay? That man has been asked to do insurmountable things and couldn't. And even when you thought that the Houston Texans were going to be a team that could actually overcome some of these obstacles, it was for naught. And how is this man treated? A man that has been to a Super Bowl, a man that has been a consummate professional every single team that he's been on. You give him 18 weeks to do what? With what? I have seen men do more with less, but this is ridiculous. Do not, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, if the Houston Texans organization, I don't care if you're a high school coach, I don't care if you're a college coach, I don't care if you're a JUCO coach, I don't care if you're an HBCU coach, I don't care if you're a former NFL coach, I don't care if you're a media consultant for ESPN, Fox, NBC Sports, or anybody else in between. If Houston comes calling, don't pick up the damn phone, because it will be one of the worst mistakes you ever make. And until that organization is under new ownership, new management, and a new way of thinking, they ain't getting shit from me until it's changed.
Really, nothing else to be said. Listen, man, if y'all hung out with us this long, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, from myself, Ray Lander, sports reporter I'll pay, my co-host, the host, Mr. Eric Wilson, the mouth of the West, Mr. Mike Caratanudo, and Tua for MVP.
Yeah, let's go beat them Bills' ass.
This has been another episode of the Sports Arena. Much love to y'all, man. We catch y'all on the next one.